What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at my game library, and we're going to kind of be looking at, is it worth it? Is it still worth your money to buy these games? In the first installment, I want to take a look at a game that I actually play quite a bit, especially recently, and that is Destiny 2. I was a massive fan of the first Destiny, played the living hell out of the game, and beat a lot of this stuff, and was very sad to see it go. So, with that being said, I kind of want to look at its lesser liked brother, Destiny 2. This game has taken quite a bit of flack, as did the first one, of course, but for pretty decent reasons. This game has been sort of lackluster at times, and Bungie demands quite a premium for their content. They charge quite a bit. So let's just say you dive in with the standard edition. Now, I don't recommend that because, like I said, Bungie is they do charge for their content, and they expect you to fork out for the bigger editions, which if you feel like it's too much, then it's probably not a game for you. The standard edition is currently, let me check real quick, I believe it's $60. However, if you were lucky last month, PlayStation, if you're a PlayStation player, last month PlayStation Network gave it, or was giving the game away for free. Oh, okay. Alright, so Destiny 2, the first few results that come up, you can get at GameStop for $10 for the standard edition. And that is Destiny 2. I was kind of surprised. Forsaken is a little more expensive. You're looking at closer to $60. And there's collection editions where if you do not own any of the content like Osiris and stuff like that, you are looking at about okay, so it's about $60 for the full game. So it's not bad. So even though the game's about 2 years old, you're still paying the $60 price. Now, is it worth it? What does the game have to offer, you know? And I'd say quite a bit. There are hours of storylines, missions, replayability, and then playing with your friends. And that is the ultimate key for me. Please excuse my disgustingly dressed Titan. I'm just grinding for light right now. And that is the other thing. This game is a grind. It's you get on it to put in time. You are doing missions, you're doing bounties, you're playing strikes and stuff like that in an attempt to get better gear, and that's all it really is. And I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that. I don't mind the grind, especially because this game makes it more fun and more rewarding than other games when it comes to the grind. A game that I will review in the future that is quite the grind, two of them actually, is A, War Thunder, and B, Warframe. Now, in fairness, those games are free to play. You don't have to pay a single penny to play them, and you don't have to, you don't have to buy into it at all. There is options to speed up the grind and to, then that's more of a War Thunder thing to speed up the grind. You can speed up the grind a little bit in Warframe, but for the most part, you really have to go in and put the work in. A new thing for Destiny 2, and it's not new to Destiny 2 as of right now, but like it was not in the first game, is the clan system where you and your friends can form a alliance and kind of work together, and you collect XP through different weekly challenges, and those challenges will give you rewarding engrams that typically will be a little bit at or above where you are, and they're always legendary, so keep that in mind. There are currently, if I remember correctly, 3 DLCs for this game right now. There's Trials of Osiris, or it's not Trials of Osiris. I call it that, and that's not what it is. It is the Osiris DLC, where you get a little bit of information about Osiris himself and the trials of the Nine and stuff like that. Then there is the Warmind DLC, which delves more into Rasputin and Clovis Bray, and you kind of get information on that sort of Earth defense systems and stuff like that. You get to see a little bit different, more of a dystopian society with this Destiny. Not that it wasn't dystopian as it was,
I think that's a good one.
Then the final DLC that just came out, which is not the final DLC, it's the most recent, is the Forsaken DLC, and it is another it's another Fallen DLC in a way. Not quite, like, it's not exclusively Fallen, but it is specifically designed around the Fallen stuff that we got in Destiny 1. If you haven't played Destiny 1, I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but if you haven't played Destiny 1, I would recommend playing it, and or at least brushing up on a little bit of the lore. It makes the game a lot more fun, in my opinion, when you know the stuff that's going on. And I kind of feel sad for a lot of the players that have just jumped in on Destiny 2, never playing the first game. And it's not necessary to play the first game. You don't have to play anything to know how to play this game or to understand a lot of the stuff. You can very well just jump right in and, you know, go for the grind. But it's a little bit cooler, in my opinion, to know where everything came from and know the history of the characters and the weapons. Because if there's one thing this game does do, and that is they put a ridiculous amount of effort into their lore and storyline. Well, the only problem is they want you, the player, to go and figure it out outside of the game. There's lore apps, there's Wikipedia pages, there's YouTubers who cover lore, so I mean, it's out there and you can find it, and it's not that difficult to get your hands on. Destiny themselves, or Bungie themselves, I should rather, have an old system called Grimoire cards, which I'm not sure if they're still around, but if they are, you should be able to type in Destiny Grimoire cards, and you can read about any of the lore you want. That kind of makes the game more fun. It makes it more worth it, in my opinion, because you get to look back on things that you learned about in Destiny 1 and you know, see the correlation and why it's important in Destiny 2.
Speak to me
now, what does this game bring to the table? Still to this day. And like I said, there's the grind, and that's pretty much it. It's a collecting game. You play a storyline to collect stuff, and then at the end you get the chance to defeat ridiculously hard bosses with your friends. And if you play this game alone, it can be difficult, and it can be challenging, and it can be unfun. That's why the clan system kind of came around, because players were getting, you know, certain players were never getting the chance to go and hit like really hard missions where you had to bring your own team. So the clan system is really cool in that sense, and it allows you to kind of join in on the fun, even if you are a single player. And then
what do you see when you look at the phantom cities of Mars? Always good
there
to see
you kind of just continue to play and wait for new stuff to drop. And I don't know if I mentioned, new stuff is going to drop, actually. There is 3 scheduled DLCs, and that's why I recommend the season pass. It's $35 on top of your game purchase. However, some of the Forsaken editions, some of the deluxe editions do come with the annual pass. I'm sure that makes it a little bit cheaper. But basically, there are mini DLCs that are going to come up with
I know you'll use this well.
Like armories, new weapons and stuff like that, new armor, that kind of stuff. That should make it more fun, more interesting. And then we're not entirely sure what's going to happen. I honestly was surprised that there was going to be new DLCs, because I felt the game was dying. But when I got on and I played more, it's really not. It's not dying. There's a pretty strong community, and you have the old guys from D1 who are, you know, really hell bent on playing the game and getting things done, and which is kind of cool. So that being said, I'm gonna kind of steer into like a final verdict for this sense, and obviously my opinion is pretty clear at this point, but is it worth it? Yes or no? I think personally the game can be very worth it. If you don't mind putting out the $60 to get the full edition,
Don't break that, alright?
then it's not that bad. And if you think about it, $60 is a lot of money for a lot of people, and it's not a lot of money for some other people. For me, it's a pretty decent
Careful
commitment
with that.
when you drop $60. That's, you know, that's saying a lot when you're putting that kind of money into a game.
Careful with that.
So what makes it worth it? Well, you can do a lot of other things with that $60, you know. But how long can you do them for? Or you can go to the movies, right, with a couple of your friends and easily put down $60 for just one movie. And then what you got? A little bit of food that you're gonna eat immediately, and then an hour and a half of entertainment. I have probably close to 1,000 hours in both Destinies if you put it together. That is, you know, way more. That's like a ridiculously amount of hours per dollar. That is. That's 6 cents per hour of entertainment. And for a movie, if you spent $20 on yourself and you're only there for 90 minutes, that is 20 cents a minute. So in all, this game is cheaper than going to see the movies, entertainment to payment ratio wise. And that's what I think makes it worth it, because there's just a lot of cool things in the game. It brings a lot of things to the table. The Button G community is constantly giving things to the game to kind of help keep it at a fun pace and keep it moving forward. And the actual Destiny community itself is really cool, and there's a lot of people out there who are constantly diving in and finding new things and discovering new weapons, getting everybody on the front face of defeating the darkness and keeping the Traveler alive.
Are you ready?
And so, you know, like Zavala says, are you ready? Are you ready to dive into the community, to join the family? Because it's kind of a family, to be honest. I don't know half the people on my clan, and personally, actually, I don't know all of them except for like 3 in real life. But it's kind of cool to be able to have this group of strangers who are so willing to go and to put a lot of their time and effort into a game. And I don't think it's too challenging for anyone, and I don't think it's necessarily too easy for anyone. At any point in time, you can adjust difficulty of the missions by adjusting what you're wearing and stuff like that. And so you can bring levels of replayability and levels of challenge to the game that not a lot of games offer. With that being said, I'd like to say that I do believe Destiny 2 is worth your time, worth your money. And next time we'll be taking a look at another game. I'm thinking probably Battlefield 1, because that is a older game at this point. And, you know, is it worth that time and money? We'll see. With that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, anything you guys have to say. I'd love to hear it. Going in and checking out my videos and seeing that people have watched them and, you know, put time and effort, their time and effort into watching my videos. Makes my day, I must say. So with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.